Okay, well, Rachel North's point of view was expressed in a book, Out of the Tunnel, and it's very straightforward. She is a rape victim, and she's reading an article about this rape that she says she's been through. She doesn't quite tell us what the article is in some girls' magazine, and she's in the tube, and she then gets into this train, and it's never been more crowded because there were some delays up line on this Piccadilly line, and as she gets into King's Cross, she notices how enormously crowded it is, and then this terrific bang goes off, and her gets frazzled, and she gets a bit of glass stuck into her wrist, and then she goes back, next chapter, starts telling you all about her rape in pages of detail that you don't really need, and the rape was some young coloured fella, and the bomber, as she informs the readers, is a young dark-skinned Muslim. And then you turn the page of the rest of the book wondering what kind of evidence she's going to provide for a Muslim bomber, and you realise there's absolutely none. This book is totally racist and totally devoid of any rational logic. Why should you believe her that a Muslim has done it? The only reason she gives is an analogy with this dark-skinned young man who, she says, has raped her. Now, I met Rachel North about 6 months after this event. She came barged into our 9/11 group in the pub. I was propping up the bar. She suddenly turns up and starts talking to me. No scars, okay? Nobody ever sees a scar on Rachel from what she's said to have been through. And she starts sort of, she claims she was on the Piccadilly line, which she I mean, it's possible she was. Nobody's quite sure, but there's she hasn't quite got there's no scars to prove this, and I'm rather left wondering quite how much is real. I mean, she gave me her email address, Rachel up the pole, and there's a big thing about her being a pole dancer. Is it a pole dance teacher? And fancy that, she's got an article in the Times about being a pole dancer. Well, call me naive, but I didn't know what pole dancer was. So I asked some people, and I said, well, hang on, a rape victim, suddenly she's classes in pole dancing. There's something not quite real about this, and I generally feel that about Rachel. Now, you can say I'm biased because I've been totally vilified by Rachel. Whenever she talks about me, I am vilified and abused, and she claims that I've harassed victim families, and I had to do a couple of threads just to go over the way she'd made untrue statements about me. And I've never had anyone tell unpleasant lies about me ever in my life, like Rachel has. Now, I'm always perfectly respectful to her in my book. You can see I mention her as someone in the Piccadilly line, and I believe her story in my book, and I'm always perfectly respectful. So she has responded in this way of being very, very insulting towards me, and I just want to say that I think there is a contrast between our two books. I think I present all the evidence that a reader really wants and needs to look into who did this crime, and Rachel North just gives you a story, a fabricated story, which you're supposed to believe, and she is the spokesperson of the government view. And over the years, you may have noticed she's the only spokesperson. And you may ask yourself, are you ever going to hear any other spokesman? Well, there's this Andy Heyman book. That is the nearest you'll get to some other official telling the government line, apart from herself. Okay, Andy Heyman tells this rather, it's rather lacking credulity in many respects, but at least that is someone other than Rachel North who will step forward and give you the government line. So she has, makes no secret, good, have sort of MI5 links, and will express the government line when asked to.